I might use our friend that we started with this morning, juggler, the lyrebird. And as I spoke to you this morning about this idea, and I sort of really want to reinforce it again, this humble bird really did, and touched on what Kim was talking about. This one bird, if you like, and the discovery of his ancestral bones that were 14 million years old here in this country, sort of took the veil, this imperial blindfold off our eyes, and really got people rethinking about the Australian ornithological landscape, if you like. And I know this sounds a bit strange to sort of talk about a bird, but this idea that that trying to really understand that, in fact, 14 million years ago, songbirds were developing here, and that, in fact, nowhere else in the world were there songbirds. And 14 million years ago, our songbirds, and including the ancestor of this fella, started moving across the world and spreading song. And this idea of thinking about our treasures here in this country as old is something that I guess is something as Aboriginal people we've always done. We've always known that these birds were very special. If you speak to elders from the southeast, most of them will remind you that, of course, this little fellow was given these skills to sing because he was an honourable bird who didn't fight. But what he does, by removing our imperial kind of blindfold, if you like, he starts to waken up a whole bunch of other historical narratives for us. You know, why is it that in this country we have, you know, the world's oldest man-made structure, the Brewarrina fish traps? Same as this little fella, it's still out there in the landscape, it's still there for us to enjoy. Why is it that in this country we have the world's oldest grindstone, making Aboriginal Australians just down the road from the Brewarrina fish traps? You know, why is that grindstone sitting in this museum and we're not talking about the fact that the world's oldest bread makers were here in this country? Why is it that Mungo Lady is the world's earliest ceremonial burial right here in this country? And yet we're not talking about them. And so I think these are these ideas around thinking about, you know, what is it about our history? What is it about our memory? What is it about this country that we need to preserve and move forward with? And I'm entrusting you all, you know, I'm entrusting and we're sharing this knowledge together as a group because this is the only way we're going to move forward. We need to hold these stories dear to us. We need to remember these stories. We need to remember the songs of our ancestors. And before, I was going to show you this morning, but in terms of thinking about those songs and thinking about that genetic memory of this bird, I was really keen for us to, in fact, look at that small clip. Because over lunch, I had to describe to a few people the sort of linguistic abilities of this extraordinary bird. So I might just play a small clip of a lyrebird for us. So this little fella is a Woiwurrung lyrebird. So he's from Hillsville Sanctuary and he's very accustomed to people. And he was a very young bird when he did this recording for us.
It's a robot.
So we are now like this bird. We all have lots of voices, we all have lots of stories, and we've all now got a lot of knowledge. And I encourage you all to spread that knowledge, to spread this story. And I want to thank you all so much for being part of this journey. Over the past 3 symposiums, we've been so lucky to hear from some extraordinary people who have really informed our journey along the way. The next challenge I'm putting to you all, and I'm giving this as a warning now, is that of course our project opens on the 17th of September, and unlike these symposiums, our next rule is that we're having no images on site. So on site we won't be seeing any of these extraordinary images, no more images of the building burning, no more images of the interior. We're going to be relying on our oral history. We're going to be relying on our stories to remember this building and to remember this history. So that's why you guys are a very important part of this story now, and I'm trusting you all to take on these stories and to spread these stories. So in closing, I'd like to ask John up to say a few words. Thanks.
Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. Jonathan, you are extraordinary. You're only 30 odd years old, but you are a very special bird. Thank you to all the speakers today. You've all been really, really good, covered a lot of subjects. You've been a great audience, and I just would like to thank the Australian Museum for hosting us, for Kim, Stephen, Laura and Tish and our team who helped out. And as Jonathan said, it's only 6 weeks away, the project, starting on Saturday, the 17th September. So please come, it's free. The hours are the same as the opening of the gardens, and hope to see you there. Thank you very much.